Welcome back to another episode of your Off is On podcast. I'm your host, Martha, and I'm so glad that you have made it back to another episode with us. Now, I know that you guys are actually having a good time listening to those Monday motivations because I do. I even listen to them, guys. I work on them and I also listen to them. Okay, so go check them out. They are posted every Monday at 9 a.m. Now, I want you guys to take it easy with me this time around with this conversation. We're going to have a conversation that's pretty meaningful to me, and I feel like it should be meaningful to you. We need to focus on one thing today, and that is men's health. Now, I know you guys know it's June. This month also has Father's Day in it, so it works out, right? So happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We love you. Mwah. You're doing just a great job. And if you think you're not doing a great job, you are doing a great job. Okay, you're doing the best that you can with what you have. And I'm very proud of you, and I'm sure there's plenty of people around you that are proud of you as well. Now, I want to get into men's health and how women can help men. I know that sounds strange to some of you men who are so masculine and have a hard time understanding how women can help you, but we can, okay? And so this topic today, we're going to get into women and supporting men's health and making a difference together. We're going to make a difference together, and we're going to focus on working this out, right? We are meant to help you men, and I enjoy serving and helping my man, and I want you guys to learn how you can do it for your man as well, even if it's your brother or your father in your life, because they are just as important as our partners. There are some key elements that I want to focus on throughout this conversation, and I also want to keep in line that we are focusing on men in this conversation. And so if I go on a tangent about women, I apologize, men, but we are just as important as you are, and sometimes I do focus a little bit on the attention that women will give to you along the way. So, you and I know that the importance of men's health is important. And if you guys haven't noticed, the last 3 years, we have really focused on men's health. And it seems that we are recognizing that we are not doing a good job with you men. We are not doing a good job supporting you in your journey of life, because it's not just your health and it's not just your mental well-being. It's your journey, period. Women, we're here to help you. And though there are so many independent women who say, "Oh, he can do it himself and he's got this," that's not the case, ladies. Men do need us, and they do need our support, and whether they admit it or not, they do. And we were created to support the men in this world, and we were created to help them along the way. It's a mutual give and take, right? It's a vice versa thing. I think men can also help women, and women can help men, okay? But I want to get into the key outline of this, and that is understanding men's health issues, encouraging regular health checkups, promoting healthy eating habits, supporting physical activity, addressing mental and emotional well-being, and fostering open communication. Now, all of these are important. Now, there's other things that are important, but these are the things that we're going to focus on today. And I want you to understand that my heart pours out to you men, and I do try to understand that though you may seem good on the outside, you are not always well in the inside, okay? And I see you, I understand you, and I hear you. And I think that you're going to get an enjoyment out of this episode because I'm dedicating it to you. I'm giving you the attention that you deserve in this very moment, okay? And so, ladies, bear with me. We're going to give men the attention that they deserve, and we're going to support them just the way that they deserve, okay? So, let's get into understanding men's health issues. By my research, I have actually noticed a recurring line of topics as far as what affects men the most. And what I have here is heart disease, prostate cancer, and mental health. Those are important, and they seem to be affecting men throughout their lives. And these are affecting our men, ladies. This is affecting our men. And for those ladies who are out there and who are married, this is a great conversation for you, because though you may think you're not helping your husband or you don't have the ability to help your husband, you will be surprised how your words and your actions are actually affecting your husband or your spouse, okay? And this is for the girls who are dating as well. Your words, though you may not be married to them, they actually hold some weight. Men, if they love you and if they care about you, They care about your opinion, and they do care that you care about them. So, with that being said, I'm going to give you some statistics that I feel like will help you open your mind and show you what's affecting our men and show you the numbers of what and how it's affecting them. Okay. I have some of the statistics here in front of me and I want to read them out to you. 1 out of 4 male deaths each year are from heart disease. Heart disease, ladies. Now, let me go back and talk about this real quick. Heart disease is not something to play with. And as we are getting older and as we are getting into more processed foods and unhealthier products on the shelves, we're noticing that men are being affected more so, and so are women. But we're talking about men, okay? So I want to say heart disease has affected my father actually, and he had a triple bypass a quadruple bypass 2 years ago. And that was a big, big scare. When a doctor tells you that your heart is sick, you better take him seriously and do what you can to help yourself if you want to be here longer. All right, I'm going to keep going. 50% of men have high blood pressure. 31% of men experience depression in their lifetime. You and I know, ladies, that there are a lot of men who are suffering from depression quietly, silently, without you even noticing. They can smile in your face and they go to bed thinking about all the things that are affecting them. And it's sad. It's sad that our men feel so scared to open up and talk to us and talk to whoever they need to talk to. Because as ladies, we tend to seek out therapy and our friends and our girlfriends and our families, our moms, and we have a support system. And most men, being raised as a man, have developed over years the idea that their feelings are not important, or the idea that they have nobody to talk to and nobody to turn to. And the idea that if they do open up and talk about their emotions, that they are not seen well in masculinity. That's harsh. That really is harsh. And I'm so sorry, men. I'm so sorry that you actually have to go throughout life thinking that we don't care. There are plenty of people who care about how you feel and how you are feeling. And gentlemen, check on your friends. They need you just as much, okay? These statistics are just for you as well. So if you see your friend not doing so well, or if he's the one guy that is so happy all the time, is probably the guy that's dealing with a lot in his mind, and he's probably dealing with depression. So check on him, all right? All right. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of men's death in the US. Prostate cancer. Most people don't even think about it. Most people don't even get checked. So I'm not a doctor, but I am suggesting men who are in the age of 30 and 40 and above should be getting checked, because prostate cancer is something that affects most men in the US. And I want you guys to know that it's not a hard process to get your prostate checked. I know that some men are just so masculine and they refuse to go to the doctors, but the doctor appointment is important, men. And I'm going to get into how women can influence you to get to that doctor, okay? Because it is very important, even if you're just going once a year. It's important. And it's important to also be aware of your body. When your body hurts or aches in places that are not normal, like a headache or a stomach ache because you ate something bad, if there are things going on that are not feeling normal, I suggest that you guys either talk it over with your spouse or go see a doctor, okay? Not a doctor, not a medical professional, but I am giving you suggestions, all right? All right. Now, these are numbers for health in men, okay? 12% of men aged 18 and over are in fair to poor health conditions. Fair to poor health. 18? You're still a spring chicken. There should be no reason why an 18-year-old has bad health issues. You should be active, you should be proactive, and you should be eating well. Now, we know in today's age, our children are totally different than us in our 40s and 60s and 70s. And I get it. But if we as a parent and caregiver are providing the facts and the statistics to our children, especially our men, we are providing information that can help them be, what do you call it? Be comfortable with attending to themselves and being aware of themselves as a human being, because we're not always going to be here, and our bodies are only one body we get, and if we're not taking care of it, things start to fail, right? Exactly. 33% of men aged 20 and over have hypertension. Hypertension? That says a lot. That says a lot that maybe our men are really stressed out. Maybe our men are carrying too much of a burden. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe our men are not able to relieve their stress the way they should be relieving their stress. Now, we're not talking about that kind of stress, but we're talking about stress, okay? 36.65% of men aged 20 and over are obese. Obesity, I don't believe, is something that just happens. It happens because you lack the self-awareness of what you are putting into your body, okay? Now, there are some medical issues that cause obesity, and I totally understand it, but hear me out. Obesity doesn't just happen. It does happen to those who have medical issues, but it doesn't just happen. It happens over time by somebody who is not taking care of themselves. All right. And if it's affecting you men, we need to talk about it. All right. 12.6% of adult men have been diagnosed with diabetes. Now, diabetes coexists with obesity. If we are eating improper foods and taking in things that are not being digestible in our systems, now diabetes is also genetic, supposedly. And by research, they say that you can pass it down to your next generation. And I believe it. And then again, I don't believe it. Okay. But that's just me. Diabetes is very, very pungent these days, and a lot of people are suffering from it. My father also has diabetes, and I've watched him go from just manning his sugar levels to taking insulin. And that's difficult to watch because you want to help and you try to understand how it's happening, and it's up to the individual to help themselves. And if they're not helping themselves, then you really can't do much other than continue to encourage and support the healthier lifestyles. Okay. And as women, men, they listen. And we should be saying something to our men with tact and grace and empathy and patience. And we should be giving them the information that they can use to help themselves. All right. And that's going to be going into the next conversation, the role of a woman in a man's life. Now, we are influential to men. Men are influenced by women in different ways, and men are influenced by other men. When you have healthy men around you, the one thing that men want to do is be just as healthy and just as astute as the other man that is mentoring them or in their group, correct? And I find that when men are hanging out with healthier men, they tend to reflect and mirror that same behavior. Now, if we're hanging out, men, with people who are doing the destructible things to their bodies, you're probably going to end up just like them. You're probably going to be doing the same behaviors and habits and characteristics of those people that you're hanging out with. So women, when we look at our man, we got to ask them or ask ourselves, who are they hanging out with? And who are they listening to? Because men are influenced and they want to be able to be led and mentored. And when men are seeking leadership, they're seeking somebody to lead them to be a better man and to teach them how to be better at who they are. And just like women, we seek out other girls to look up to learn from. And that's important too, okay? It's very, very important. Now, when I said that women and their roles with influencing men is important, it is. It's very important. It's important that we encourage our men to seek medical help. It's important that we encourage our men to eat healthy. It's important that we encourage our men to take care of themselves physically and mentally. It's important that we create an open space to allow men to open up and release. There are so many men in this world that are holding on to things that we have no idea about. And I have watched men throughout my life hold on to these things. And literally, they say that if you hold on to stress long enough, it becomes a disease. And I always believe that disease is a dis-ease. It's a dis-ease in our body, which could mean emotionally a disease in our body. Okay. And I feel like when men are getting hypertension, when they're having heart attacks, when they're going through all these things, ask ourselves, are we really listening to that man, and where are his stress levels? And it could just be health. It could just be genetics, right? But let's just go to the simplicity of it. Are they being heard? Are they exerting their emotions correctly? And are they physically taking care of themselves correctly? Men, I love you, but sometimes you guys just get up, put your clothes on, and you go, and the day just starts. And you don't think about, what am I putting in my body? How am I treating my body? Am I getting the right rest? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? And I have to tell you, there are some men that is their go-to every morning. They wake up, they focus on their health, they focus on what they're eating, they focus on their mental health, they focus on the drive to continue to be better. And those are the men that you should be surrounding yourself with if you feel like you're not at a place where you feel 100%. Okay? Tangent, but I'm going to get through it. Okay. Women, when I was saying that you're important, you are important. And it's important that you help your man adopt better behaviors and adopt habits that are good for them. And we can help by setting good examples. Now, if I'm a woman, I am a woman, and I have a man, and I'm trying to get him to eat a better, healthier diet, it is easy for women to just suggest or create and make a meal. Do you know that men love it when women cook? When you cook and you give him that food and it's made out of love, he's going to eat it. They used to say a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. I don't know if that's still true, but it could be, right? And I just know that when I cook with love. And so when I serve, it's made with love. And I hope that when they eat it, they receive the love that it's made with, right? And so that's what I'm saying. We lead by example. And though men love to be the leaders in the house, women can be the leaders as well. Women can lead their man in the right direction and away from self-destruction and harm to themselves. And I don't mean like suicidal, I mean like mental, physical, and emotional. Okay. When we open the lines of communication for men and we deliver a space for them to feel safe and not judged or attacked, they will open up and they will want to change. I've never not seen a man have a space that's safe and not want to change or be better for the woman who's opened that space. And I know that a lot of men out there would agree with me that when a woman creates a safe space for a man and they don't feel judged and they feel heard, they're willing to do whatever she's requesting. Correct? Correct. Okay. So I digressed, but I want to say this. Encouraging proper nutrition and exercise for your man is so important. It doesn't mean that he can't do it himself. It just means that you are actually giving him the support and the hoorah for when he does it, right? So when he says, honey, I want to go to the gym for the next 5 days, 5 days a week, I want to go to the gym and I want to eat healthy. Yes, honey. What can I do to help you? How can I help you? How can I be the support system that you need to accomplish that goal? You want your man to want to take care of himself, or you want your brother, your father, your grandfather, the man in your life, men in your life, you want them to be encouraged to do better for themselves. Okay. And so I want to get into how we can add value to a man's life going through the life with the men. Okay. Regular health checkups are important. Most men don't even think about going to the doctors. It's really important that I, as a daughter, I, as a wife, as a girlfriend, as a sister, talk to our fellow men and say, hey, when was the last time you got checked? Have you gone to the doctors? You probably should. It's a good idea. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I'll get to it. But if you really are trying to help the male figures in your life, there's a tact that you have inside of you that will convince a man, sorry men, but that we will convince you that it's good to go see the doctors, even if we have to make the appointment for you. Men want to be better. And when we encourage them to be better, they want to be better. All right. So it's not really hard to encourage your man to go to the hospital, or your father, your uncle, your grandfather to go to the hospital and get checked by a doctor. Okay. How can we help? We can help by scheduling, or we can help by regulating their checkups, right? Have you gone to the doctor? When was the last time you went to the doctor? Let's schedule an appointment. Who's your provider, right? Let's have these open conversations. If we're not having these open conversations, men, they're not thinking about it. They're just going. I have watched so many men get to the point of illness and almost die because they refuse to go to the doctors. They refuse to acknowledge that seeing a doctor is important, even if it's once a year. Even if it's once a year. Men, we care about you, but you also have to care about yourself. And it's important that you value your body, the only one you get, as much as we value you. All right. Now, women, you know that as we go along and we encourage our husbands, boyfriends, brothers, fathers, uncles, grandfathers, the male figures of our lives, it's important that we understand that we cannot force them to do it, but we can encourage. And encouraging is what men like. They like that little push, the little push that gets them to think about it, right? If they're thinking about it, they might just do it. And that's where we want them to be. We want them to might just do it, okay? And so I want to move on to conversations. The reason why I put this on my outline is because I feel that men don't feel heard. They don't feel listened to, and they don't feel seen. And most suicidal actions happen because men are not being heard, and they're not being seen, and they're not being listened to. Women, we have to do a better job. It's not your responsibility. You're right. But it is our responsibility as a human to listen to another human. So if you take gender out of it and you just say, hey, this guy, this person needs somebody to listen to them. Listen. Listen not to respond, but listen to understand. Most men have a hard time even talking about what's going on in their brain, what's going on in their heart, what's going on in their life. And there are ways that we can create a space that allows them to open up and express themselves. Men are suffering from mental health issues because it's hard. It's hard to carry the burden and not being able to just be themselves, and not being able to feel like they can express themselves without being criticized or condemned as a man for expressing themselves. I know a lot of podcasts that I've listened to, and a lot of men who are having conversations out there now about men's health and how important it is. We have watched it on social media, exploring and exposing the sad part of how men are not being attended to. Our world suffers from the lack of men's attention. When men are suffering, our world is suffering. And I'm sorry, ladies, but it's true. When we as women are not doing our best to support men in this world and to encourage better behaviors, you see what's going on. You see what's going on in this world. And I'm not blaming what's going on in this world to all men. And I'm not blaming it to women either. I'm just saying there is a domino effect when men are not being understood, heard, and listened to. Okay. I have encountered a few men in my life who have suffered silently. One in which I want to say I'm sorry to the men who are listening to this podcast. And I'm sorry that you feel that we are not listening. And I'm sorry that you don't feel good enough or well enough or strong enough to talk about it, because I'm listening. I'm listening, and there are other people in your life that are listening as well. And if you don't have a support system, I want you to go find one. It's very important. I want you to seek out one, even if it's a hotline, seek it out. Understand there are people who are willing to listen, and we're here for you. Okay? We're here for you. Now, I'm going to move on from that serious part of the conversation just because I want to add some value into men's nutritional needs. Okay? As all humans, we need vitamins. And I wrote a list about what men, we're talking about men because this is a list for humans as well. I think all humans need this list, but we're talking about men. So nutritional nutrients that men need are protein, magnesium, fiber, vitamin D, potassium, calcium, and other vitamin D, C, zinc, and omega 3s. Now, we can include those into their diets by including vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, rice, and etc. You guys know that. And if you don't know that, you know that now. I have to say that if you're not researching how to improve your lifestyle, you are really, really in a world of hurt right now. You should be waking up and asking yourself, what can I do to better my lifestyle? And men, that's you too. So this list is for you. It's focused on you. We are focusing on you. And if you are getting these nutritions out of your diet, you're healthier. It's one step closer to healthier. Okay? These may not help your mental health, but they are going to help your body, which will then in turn help your mental health. They say that a lot of people suffer from deficiency of vitamin D, and vitamin D is important. It's important because it helps your mood. It regulates your emotions. So why aren't you taking vitamin D? Why aren't you outside getting some sun? Let's do it. I love sun. Don't you love sun? Oh, I can't live without sun. Anyways, going on. Ladies, I know that we are not all wives and we are not all catering to men, but if you are a wife and if you are a girlfriend, if you're a mother who has a husband, who has a son, meal preparation is the start. When you can provide a strong, healthy, nutritional diet for the men in your life, they tend to stick to that diet. They tend to habitually prefer that kind of diet. So that is another way that we can enforce and encourage our men to eat better and to provide the nutrients that they seek and need for them to be healthier. When we are cooking great meals, I know for a fact that we are giving good, healthy stuff. I talked to a woman yesterday in a coffee shop, and she had mentioned that she was dealing with some health issues. And she started eating healthier. And her husband was continuing with his diet. And she started to notice the changes, and she was expressing it to him, saying, oh my gosh, I'm noticing this, I'm noticing that. All my bones are not hurting. I'm not inflamed as often. And the husband became curious about what she was doing with her diet and how she was doing it. And long behold, ladies, listen, long behold, he started to change his diet and he started to eat the same things that she did. And in the end, they have completely changed their diet at home, which is also trickling down to their children. Imagine the domino effect. It's trickling down to your children as well as it is helping you and well as it's helping your wife. Diet is easy. It's easy. It's about discipline and choosing to eat better. And ladies, we can do that by encouraging our men, or even just like the lady in the coffee shop, showing her man or the men that she's eating healthier and it feels better and it feels good and she's feeling good and she's losing the weight. And if I'm not mistaken, this young lady said that her husband actually lost 10 pounds and that she was jealous because she had only lost a few of the pounds that she had on, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's beautiful to see that when a man tries something that a woman has encouraged him to do, that he sees the effects of choosing what she's doing, right? Now, do you see what I'm correlating here? I'm showing you that a woman does and has the effect on men, and the way we talk to our men is very effectual. We affect our men by the way we talk to them, by the way we steer them, by the way we look at them, by the way we manage ourselves around them. Okay. We are all affected, and women are affected by men as well. Okay. But we're not talking about women. We're talking about men. I'm trying to stay right here with you guys, right here with you, because I care about you. I love you. And I want you to know that we are here to support you. And I would love to get a panel of men together to discuss this from a woman to a man's perspective, because I feel like women don't know how to have the conversation. Women don't know how to approach it. Women don't want to step on the toes of a man saying, hey, you should probably do this because you're a man, right? And we feel like we shouldn't have to tell you. But those are also social traditional norms that I feel have no value anymore. We should not be teaching our young men to suck it up, not cry, and be strong. We should not be telling our women not to tell men or to suggest to men what they should be doing with their lives or suggest better habits for their men in their lives. Okay. Women, you do have a voice. Men, you do have a voice, and we should be communicating. And that's where I'm going back to, is the open communication. All right. Communicate, talk to each other. It is the best thing to do. All right. Now, I know we have gotten off topic just a little bit, but I want to go back to one thing. And this is the strong point that I'm trying to get to right now. Lead by example, encourage and support, ladies. You can lead by example. Men are the leaders of the house, I believe, and they want to lead and they want to provide and they want to protect, but we can also lead by example. We can do things that reflect good, healthy habits to our spouse and to the men in our lives, and they will follow in suit. Okay. All right. I'm going to go on to exercising and the benefits of exercising. If you're not exercising, I don't want to beat you up, but you should be. Even if it's going for a walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you should be walking. You should be exercising. Exercising is not just for losing weight. Exercising is for helping your body heal. When you are exercising, you are pumping blood. You are pumping blood to the cells that actually help you heal and actually help you feel better. You and I know, and if you don't know, you will know now, that exercising, even walking, helps you feel better, puts you in a better mood. Imagine knowing that walking can put you in a better mood. Imagine knowing that sitting in the sun can help you be in a better mood. I would be doing it every day. Actually, I do, but imagine that. Okay, men, it's simple. It's simple. And I know a lot of men out there who are working out and who go to the gym and who eat good and who eat well, and that's beautiful. Teach one, teach another one the same thing. Follow in suit, men, if you're not following in suit with these guys who are living these well-nourished, nutritious lives. If you're not following suit, get a friend who's working out in the gym and follow suit. Get to know what they're doing that's helping them, because not everybody is the same, and definitely men are not the same. And maybe their routine doesn't work for you. Okay, but that's okay too. But so long as you take something, you learn something from it, and you take it and you utilize it. So when we are exercising, we're doing a lot for our bodies. And ladies, exercise with your man. I used to go for walks with my father all the time. We used to take like 3 mile, 6 mile walks, and we would just walk, talk, and maybe not even say anything to each other, but we would enjoy the presence of each other and we would walk. Now, when my father was walking with me, he was also attending to his hypertension and his diabetes. So he was trying to lose weight, and he was also trying to stay healthy. And that's important. I realized that he was trying to make a difference. And I made a difference by researching information to give to him to help him induce that healthier lifestyle, right? So if we, as a daughter, as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, if we have the information and we provide it to the man who doesn't know or is not well informed, he is well informed then. And he's able to make the decisions for better choices if he chooses to. And we want them to choose better choices. We want them to eat healthier. We want them to exercise, and we want them to be in the doctor's office at least once a year. Okay. So ladies, don't ever think that you are not valuable enough to a man's life in the support system. It's important that we join them in this journey of their health. If we're not supporting them, they're doing it by themselves. And I promise you, if they're doing it by themselves, they're not going to do it. I'm not speaking for all you men out there. I know that there's men that are actually doing it for themselves and they're holding their own hands. I applaud you. I truly do. And I think it's wonderful. But I'm talking about how women can help you, okay? And we can encourage you, and we can hold you accountable, and we can induce better habits for you. And it's so important, ladies. It's so, so important. All right. So I want to address next is mental health and emotional well-being. I was actually going to do just an entire conversation on well-being and mental health for men. I have watched videos and I have cried watching a man hurt so deeply when all he needed was somebody to listen. All he needed was a safe space to be able to talk about what it is that was bothering him or what it is that he was holding on to. And you and I know out there that men don't like therapists. I don't know why, men. A therapist is like talking to a friend. See it that way and go and dump all of that stuff that's bothering you inside that you hold on to, dump it on them, because that's what they're there for. They're there to help you to work through all of that. And I don't understand, and I probably won't ever understand why it's so difficult for a man to um, dump these emotions and these hangups that they have and traumas and abuse. It takes a long time for a man to get to the point and to the brink of breakdown before he actually breaks down. And when he does, that's when you know and you realize that he has actually hit the brink. Like the camel back is broken, okay? And as I think about it, I watched my father when he came back from Desert Storm, his second tour. He came back a different man. And I can only imagine. As an adult now, and I look back, as a child, I didn't know what was going on. But as an adult, and I look back and I see the trauma and the PTSD that he dealt with and the regulation of coming back into the civilian world after being in a war for almost 3 years, 4 years, I believe. That's got to be hard. That's got to be so difficult. That's like, I don't even know how to explain it. What I want to say is that I'm sorry that you veterans out there have had to deal with that. And watching my father go through stages of healing without even knowing that he was healing himself, but watching the stages of healing and watching the changes that he went through as he was healing and getting past the post-traumatic trauma, it was it was interesting because he didn't see a therapist and there wasn't really anybody around to listen to him, but he found people and he found a wife that is now currently taking care of him, and she's with him 24 hours a day and she loves him to death. And that's what makes me happy, is that he does have somebody who does now listen and supports and pushes him to go to the doctors and makes sure that he is focusing on his health and to not ignore the things that are going on. um, his mental health was so damaged after war. And take out war, put a man in front of you, and just watch, look, learn, and listen. Men carry so much of the world on their shoulders, and they are taught to do this. They are traditionally, socially taught to do this, that when they grow up, they can't cry and get up and do it again, and you're strong and you're mighty and this and that. That's okay. That's a beautiful way to train a man to be a real strong man. But how are we teaching them to regulate their emotions? How are we teaching them that they have a safe space to talk about what's going on in their minds and what's bothering them? We're not. We're not easily creating this space for them, and we're not doing it well enough to where they feel safe enough to open up. And I am so proud of the men who are now talking about it on podcasts, on TV, on the news, and on series. They're talking about the well being of men. We need to start paying attention. Men affect our world just as well as women affect our world. We all affect this world in some type of way. Now, I want to go back to the importance and address what men can possibly deal with mentally. They deal with anxiety disorders, depression, stress, PTSD, bipolar disorder, and loneliness. When I wrote down loneliness, I realized that a lot of you men deal with loneliness because you feel like you don't want to burden anybody else with your problems. And I think that goes for women too. There's some women that feel that way as well. And you don't want to pour onto anybody because you're the man. You got to take care of it. You got to be strong. I applaud you for that. But I want you to know that you're doing the worst thing possible to yourself because you're not exerting. what's going on in here. You're not giving it out. You're holding it in, and that causes all those little cells in your body to go through turmoil, and those cortisol levels are high, and you're just not responding to life the correct way, okay? Women, this is how you can support your man when they're going through mental health or they're having mental health issues. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I want to just make suggestions, okay? We can listen. We can create an open space that allows them to feel not judged. We can guide them to a therapist or to a priest or to a mentor that can help them talk through whatever it is that they're talking to. Or we can just listen. Just listen to the men in your life. They want to be heard and they want to be understood. Just be a good emotional support system. It's not hard. Men are simple. I have learned so much about men over the years. And the one thing I've learned is that men are simple. They're not complicated. They're very simple. And I think it's so hard for us to understand how simple they are and how uncomplicated they are. Now, there are some men out there that are divas. No offense, but you guys are. And I get it. It's just how you were raised. It's just how the people you were around. I get it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that men they're so simple, and we can help them in so many ways by just listening, by just being present, by just encouraging discussions and encouraging them to release their feelings and to talk about anything that's health wise that they're dealing with, that's challenging them. And when we're creating this space, I promise you, men want to express themselves. They want to talk about it. Now, some men are internal. They think about it inside, and they may not ever want to talk about it. And we should respect that. We should never want to force emotions out of men, because it can backfire on us and it can cause more pain and trouble than it can helping them, okay? Men can be complicated in that sense because that masculinity can take over and that pride and ego can take over, and they don't want to be told what to do, and they don't want to be steered, and they don't want to be helped, and they could do it themselves. Let them feel that through. Let them go through that stage. Let them go through that feeling, and let them just be. Because when they come out of that place, the emotion will still be somewhere, and they will still need to have it dealt with. And when they are dealing with it themselves, hear me out. When they are dealing with it themselves, they either one or two things. They find the solution, or they find that they need somebody to help them find the solution, or just to listen to them, okay? Men know when they need somebody. We just have to create an atmosphere that they feel safe enough to ask for the help, because men are not asking for help because there's not enough safe places for men. And there is some toxic ass masculinity going on out there. You guys have got to stop calling these guys bitches, simps, hoes. Oh, you're soft. You got to stop it. You got to stop it. Because what are you saying to another man? That he's not man enough because he's got emotions? That he's not man enough because he talks about his emotions? That is so sad. So sad. And if you want to attack me, then attack me. It is sad that another man has to attack another man's self-being. Okay? It's really sad to me. And I have no respect for it. So I'm going to move along. And I have stressed enough that communication is very important. Ladies, I do my best to communicate to my boyfriend as much as I can and as often as I can about my own feelings and how he's feeling. And I ask periodically, how's your heart? How is your heart? When you ask a man how is his heart, it deeply penetrates a place where he has to think about it. It's a thought-provoking question that makes him go, oh, how is my heart? I don't even know. And they start to think about it. And some of them do, right? But they start to think about it and they start to go, well, I'm not feeling well. Now I'm kind of pissed off about this. And you know what? So-and-so did this to me and I really didn't feel that. I wasn't really happy about that. And work is crazy. Like I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. You'll start to hear these things and you'll go, wow, I didn't even know because I didn't ask. When you start asking these thought-provoking questions, men will respond. And sometimes They have so much going on that they don't know how to say the feeling that they're feeling, right? But then that's where you come in and you create that open space and you go, hey, I'm listening. Say it however you can because I'm listening. All right. And men, talk about it. Talk to us. We're listening. And ladies, we are a support system for the men in this world. We can either encourage them or we can hurt them. And words from a woman can be death-filled or life-filled. It all depends on how you're using your words. I have seen a lot of men be shut down by a woman's word or be hurt in their life by a woman's actions and words. And we all go through heartbreak. We all go through trauma. We all go through difficulties in life. But our words hurt and our words can provide life. So which one are you choosing, ladies? Which one are you choosing? These men need our support and we have to be there for them. And I'm all for it. I'm always the one sticking up for the men because I feel watching throughout life, I watched men get tore down and men get fucked up and men hurting just to be normal in their lives. And I couldn't understand how to help. But after researching and listening and understanding that it's very simple, most men just want to be heard. Again, I'm going back to that. They just want to be heard and understood. So be patient with your man. Develop cultural respect, especially if you guys are not in the same culture, and ask questions. Dig deep. They have to let it out. They don't have to, but they will if you're actually giving them what they need, which is an ear to hear, empathy, patience, and support, encouragement. So I want to go back to what I've covered. We've covered mental health. We've covered diseases. We've covered the encouragement of women and how we support our men throughout their lives. And I want to say this. Men's mental health is just as important as a woman giving birth. Did you hear that? It's important as a woman giving birth. A woman is giving life. A man's mental health is just as important. I know that's the strangest comparison, but it is true. Men need the support and love just as much as a woman who is giving birth. Okay? She is creating life and she is giving life. And men need that same support because they are providing life and they are providing for us. Okay? This was serious and I enjoy talking about these topics because men are important and their well-being is important. And I am going to have further discussions about men's mental health and well-being in this world because the more that we support men and the more that we take care of them, the better our world will be. I agree with it. I believe it and I agree with it. The better our world will be. Women, we're soft. We're the nurturers of life. And men are the providers, the protectors, and the creators. Women are creators too. Calm down. All I'm saying is that if we give them what they need, just like they give us what we need, the world will be a different place. I truly believe that the world will be a different place. Men are simple. Women are just as simple, maybe. I think we're a little bit more complicated because we're emotional. But if we support each other, vice versa, and we give love the way we're supposed to give love, we can provide a really strong situation for each other. Now, men, happy Father's Day. I got you on my mind this month. It is June, is Men's Health Month. And I will be reaching out to majority of the men that are in my life. And I will be making sure that you're okay. And I will be questioning you how you're taking care of yourself. And the number one question, how is your heart? How is your heart, men? How are you doing out there? Ladies, ask the question. Ask the question to a random man if you want, because they need it. Someone needs to care and someone needs to know. All right. Listen, I had a beautiful time with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Men, you guys got me. My heart is with you and I support you. And I always want you to feel loved, supported, and understood. We are supporting you here on this episode and we are supporting you in this podcast. And I want you to know that if you need me, if you need someone to listen, please reach out to me. Okay. I love you guys. I really hope that you had a beautiful time on this episode. And look out for next episode. It's going to be casual to casualties. Yes, casual to casualties. Now you guys know when you're casual, sometimes a casualty does happen. So look out for that next episode and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.